organic, unpredictable, unknown, lovely, beautiful, a sense of fulfillment. This is part of the pleasures of life and not the chores of life.
On this edition of Daily Iowan TV,
find out how groups on campus are celebrating Martin Luther King Jr. Day,
and why this year the Iowa City Community School District held classes on the holiday.
And in sports, coverage of Iowa's big win over Minnesota and where they sit in the polls.
All that and more next.
Daily Iowan TV is ready to go.
I'm Tom Brokaw. For more than 100 years now, the University of Iowa community has been waking up to the Daily Iowan. Today, it's the largest newsroom in eastern Iowa. And now you can see the news every night on Daily Iowan TV and get it anytime worldwide at dailyiowan.com.
Good evening, I'm Marissa Mahalik.
And I'm Mary LaPleca. We want to welcome back all students, faculty, and staff. We hope everyone had a relaxing winter break with safe travels back to Iowa City.
The Iowa City School District held classes on Martin Luther King Jr. Day for the first time this year, but school officials still wanted the lesson plans to commemorate Dr. King.
I had born 13 children, and see, most of them sold into slavery. And when I cried out in my mother's grief, yes, Lord, only Jesus could hear me and
That was UI grad student Anissa Hicks performing at Iowa City West High School earlier today. This is the first year Iowa City schools held classes on Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Iowa City West celebrated by bringing in UI performers. They performed pieces of the play In White America by Martin Doberman. School officials said it was important to incorporate history into their lesson plans for the day.
Learning the best lessons from our history can help us be even better going forward with each other, with ourselves, with our community.
Iowa City also celebrated with other speakers and by watching the I Have a Dream speech.
The University of Iowa did not hold classes in honor of the late American civil rights leader. So how exactly did the UI community celebrate King's memory? Daily Iowan TV Maria Palladino went around campus today to find out.
Cars lined the streets outside of Bethel Methodist African Episcopal Church today to celebrate Martin Luther King Jr. Day. In celebration of Dr. King, the event includes several speakers, gospel music, and audience interaction on the importance of the day. After the event is over, the community members and students are allowed to go downstairs where there are refreshments offered and different foods to be served.
King Day is a day where we celebrate that vision. We celebrate the necessity of being shaken up and being sifted and being once again called back to core creeds of being American.
This community celebration was held on South Governor Street and was co-sponsored by the church, the student chapter of the NAACP, and the Black Student Union. Maria Palladino, Daily Iowan TV.
Keep your eyes peeled this week as other members of the community host events honoring Dr. King.
A West Branch daycare employee is facing pornography charges after admitting he had nearly 400 photos and videos of child porn on his cell phone and more than 1,000 images on his computer. 22-year-old Brady Verlo is being held at the Johnson County Jail on a $30,000 bond.
A University of Iowa lecturer in the Department of Music is facing charges of third-degree theft, making false reports, and possession of marijuana and drug paraphernalia. After telling police he had his laptop stolen, 56-year-old Brent Sandy said the laptop was taken from his office. However, further investigation showed the laptop was at Sandy's home. He admitted he reported it stolen because he was scheduled to get a new laptop and his old one contained pornography. Police also found small amounts of marijuana in the home.
Much more still coming your way on Daily Iowan TV.
A look at what Governor Branstad has in store for students in Political Alert.
And in sports, we wrap up the 2013 Iowa football season.
But first, we'll hand it off to Daily Iowan TV's Laura Gibbs for your weather forecast. Laura, what can students expect going back to classes this week?
Thanks, Mary. Beginning tonight, temperatures are going to be dropping down, so be prepared for some cold days ahead walking to and from class. Tomorrow, temperatures will start off at -3 degrees with sunny skies and will only reach a high of 5 degrees in the afternoon. Then tomorrow night, temps will drop down to 2 degrees. Looking now into the rest of the week, Wednesday will still be chilly, but temperatures are expected to reach the teens. Thursday, the high is only -1, so be sure to bundle up and try to stay warm. And this weekend, we can expect to see temperatures begin to rise to the mid-20s, so we'll have a minor break from this freezing weather. Mary and Marissa, that's all I have tonight for weather. I'll send it back to you guys at the desk.
Now let's send it over to Daily Iowan TV's Reed Chandler to hear the latest in Political Alert. Reed?
A new year comes with a new legislative session for lawmakers in the state of Iowa. Just last week, the 2014 legislative session kicked off, but the spotlight was on Governor Terry Branstad. He gave his annual Condition of the State address last Tuesday, where he outlined his vision and budget for the year, and in it was some big news for the UI. Daily Iowan TV was at the Capitol last week, and in this week's Political Alert, we'll show you what you missed. The Iowa Capitol was in cheers last week when Governor Branstad delivered his annual Condition of the State address, where he announced the current tuition freeze would continue for a second year.
Last year, the budget you passed and I signed provided the Regents universities with the necessary resources to freeze tuition for the first time in 30 years. This year, my budget proposes another investment in key tuition assistance programs.
But not everyone was cheering for the governor. For one Des Moines local, freezing tuition isn't enough.
They should lower the tuition, and they also should monitor the price of books. It is criminal what these young people have to pay for books.
And for the Democrats, the governor's priorities were lacking.
I think the governor's speech lacked any real focus on income inequality in Iowa. We have a growing number of families in this state, and kids especially, that just are not living in households that have enough resources.
Right now, the tuition freeze only applies to in-state residents, but we asked University of Iowa student government if expanding the freeze to out-of-state students was realistic.
It's important to keep the out-of-state tuition as those increases as low as possible, and in the future, if it would be possible to not increase it at all, that'd be great. But for right now, I think this is the most doable, and so I just want us to go to in-state first, is what we can do, and keep that out-of-state increase small.
And while lawmakers may not agree on every issue this session, the governor's announcement on the tuition freeze had both sides of the aisle in applause. Reed Chandler, Daily Iowan TV. We'll bring you more coverage of this year's session as the semester progresses. Until then, it's back to you.
A lot went on over break in Hawkeye Athletics. Let's send it over to Alyssa Bergamini, who's standing by in the Daily Iowan TV studio. Alyssa?
That's right, Marissa. Lots to catch you up on. And hey guys, Alyssa Bergamini here, welcoming you back to the Daily Iowan TV sports studio for the first show of 2014. And with no surprise, we've already started the year off with a bang in the Iowa sporting world. The men's basketball team is ranked in the top 10 of the AP poll for the first time since 2002. In order to get into the top 10, Fran McCaffrey and crew had to take care of Minnesota on Saturday. Kevin Glick was there and has the highlights.
Oxness pumped up for some afternoon basketball on Saturday as Iowa hosted Minnesota, and we'll pick this one up late in the first half. Iowa was uncharacteristically down at home until Josh Oglesby nails a three, and he wasn't done with that before the half would end. Now, after getting a stop on defense, Oglesby the catch and shoot out on the wing and drills it, and Iowa's only down 2 to end the half, and Oglesby shooting 60% from three since returning from injury. Devin Marble held down pretty well by the Minnesota defense, and he didn't even get his first basket until right here, a minute and a half into the second half from three, and he just took over and showed why he was in the top 10 in scoring right now in the Big Ten. He would finish with 16 points in the game. Hawkeye Elvis pumped up that his Iowa Hawkeyes are up 6, and McCabe get the ball, drive, get the hoop and the harm, and Iowa in full control from then on out. Later on, Aaron White says, anything you can do, I can do better, gets his own and one, and a little bit of depth from the bench. The game out of hand and frustration boiling over. Elliot Eliason having a little bit of conversation with the ref. Ref didn't like it, sends him on his way with the technical foul. That would wrap up the game, and Iowa would win 94-73, and Gabe Olashany, all smiles.
A lot of respect for that basketball team. That's a really good team. Fran is a great coach. They've got the ability to make a deep run at this.
It speaks to the fact that we're a good team. It gets more people talking about my players, our players, and I'm happy for them, that people are saying that about them. because they're the ones that did it. They're the ones that worked extremely hard to take our program where we were an afterthought to being a ranked team.
Basketball isn't the only thing that went on over break. Josh Bolander was down in Tampa for the Outback Bowl, where he puts a bow on the 2013 Iowa football season.
A cold and rainy Tampa, Florida, the setting for the second New Year's Day Bowl meeting for the LSU Tigers and Iowa Hawkeyes, and there were no Hail Marys or prayers answered this time around. In case you forgot, we picked this one up first quarter, first play of the game, and how's this for foreshadowing? LSU's Jeremy Hill running over Hawkeye defenders with the first of his 28 carries on the day. That setting up freshman quarterback Anthony Jennings' first career start. Here's the kid's first career rushing touchdown. Bayou Bengals up 7-0. After the Iowa offense stalls on their first drive, the Iowa defense doing its best to keep the Hawks in the game as Jennings and company struggled to pull away in this one. And Jake Rudock and his weapons would finally respond. First, it's C.J. Fedorowicz with the first down, and if it worked once, let's try it again. Iowa's second tight end, Jake Doozy, over the middle. Iowa fans getting loud. The LSU defense silences them. Rudock's bomb slightly underthrown and intercepted, but once again, it's the Iowa defensive unit who would regroup and respond, forcing the 3-and-out. But Lady Luck, fancying the purple and gold in this one, usually sure-handed Cavante Martin-Manley, muffing the punt in wet weather.
Yeah, I don't know if it was so much the weather as misjudging. It looked to me like he was going backwards. You don't want to be running backwards, kind of catching a fly ball if you can.
Anthony Jennings taking advantage of the Tigers' good fortune, using his legs to make a play on the ensuing drive before who else? Jeremy Hill punches it in from 25 yards out just before the break. Kirk Ferentz trying to get his players into the game before the half. 14-0 Tigers. Black and gold did come out impressive in the second half, though. But a Mike Meyer missed field goal would give Jennings and his offense the ball back, and holy Odell Beckham, the Tiger wideout with this huge grab. Oohs and ahs throughout the stadium as the replay is shown on the big board. All the momentum with LSU, but John Loudermilk crashes the Cats party. Jennings over the middle looking for Travis Dixon, intercepted, and the Iowa safety takes the pigskin back 71 yards, ruling on the field a touchdown, but frees it. Another look shows Loudermilk drops the ball at the 1-yard line. Ruling reversed, but shortly after, Mark Weisman plays the wrecking ball roll, barrels his way into pay dirt from 2 yards out. We've got a ball game, 14-7 LSU. But on 3rd and 6, with just over 2 minutes to play in the game and the game on the line, game MVP Jeremy Hill does MVP things. Let's listen in.
If you give Jeremy Hill an opportunity to close out a victory, he knows what that means, and he really put the finishing touches on that Iowa team in this game in the back end.
Hill with his 7th 100-yard rushing game of the season, game over right. Not so fast, and speaking of fast, Jordan Cotton high-stepping for 96 yards in the ensuing kickoff. C.J. Beathard filling in for injured starter Jake Rudock. With this 4-yard pitch and catch to Cavante Martin-Manley, 21-14 LSU. Do you believe in miracles? Nah, not today. The Hawks' bid for endless coconut shrimp falls short as the onside kick fails. LSU the winner in this one, 21-14.
Thanks for that, Josh. Well, Iowa's wrestling head coach Tom Brands was busy over break, losing to Penn State at home, but defeated Oklahoma State. The team takes on Minnesota at home this Saturday. Finally, Bluder's bunch got their first win in Columbus since 1998 yesterday after defeating the Buckeyes 81-74. Freshman Allie Disterhoff scored 21 in her first career start to lead the way for the Hawks. For more coverage of the game and all their sporting news you missed over break, tune in tomorrow for a special Tuesday edition of the Whip Round. That's all for now, but back to you guys at the desk.
Only with Daily Iowan TV can you get a sneak peek into tomorrow's pages of the Daily Iowan.
Find out about Iowa City Community School District's plan to implement the highly contested diversity policy this spring.
And read about the Color Your Campus Run coming to Iowa City in April.
That's your latest edition of Daily Iowan TV. Be sure to check us out at the same time tomorrow or anytime online at dailyiowan.com.
Thanks for watching and have a great night.